Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Scott Sports 101. I'm Scott Trella. We're going to talk Cavs. We got some Browns and free agency news, and we got some Guardians. We'll talk about the MAC tournament a little bit, the Sweet 16 that's going on right now, which is the second round. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. It's an NBA trivia question. Who is the coach that is considered the best NBA coach of all time? And I'll have the answer later on the podcast. Uh, well, we're going to talk Cavs first. They beat the Brooklyn Nets last night, uh, 115 to 109 in Brooklyn, New York at Barclays Center. Donovan Mitchell led the way with 31 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Caris LeVert was right behind him. He chipped in 18 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. Evan Mobley, 17 points. He banked in 17 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. And Darius Garland also banked in 17 points, 1 rebound, 6 assists. And Jared Allen had he put down 12 points, 14 rebounds, 1 assist. And C.D. Osman had 12 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. And the Cavs just really just have one of their best. They have one of their best games. They really played together like a team last night. And they beat. This was a victory in what Cleveland hopes is the first round playoff preview. And if Tuesday night was a first round preview, the Cavs would have plenty of reasons to like their chances. And in the first two meetings between the Eastern Conference playoff hopefuls over the next few days, Cleveland topped uh, Brooklyn, as I said, 115 to 109 on Tuesday night. Is the Cavs' fourth win in their last 5 games as they continue creeping toward a playoff berth for the first time since 2018. Last season with LeBron James before he bolted for Los Angeles. With the final 2 weeks, while the final 2 weeks will determine the postseason seeding, multiple members of the organization have been privately hoping for a series with the Nets. Tuesday showed why. It also showed why the fading Nets are unlikely to be in the East fifth seed with a switchy defense and surgical pass happy. Share the wealth offense, Brooklyn Nets. Cleveland out of sorts early. It led for more than 8 minutes in the first quarter and was ahead by 7 after 1. And the Nets' biggest edge of the game, but it didn't last. And I thought the first quarter, the ball was sticky and it wasn't moving defensively. I didn't think we were competing at a level we needed to compete at. It just took a minute to get us into the game. Cavs coach J.B. Bickerstaff said once we started moving the ball, the game became simply offensively to us for us, and everybody got involved. I thought we played Cavaliers basketball. I think that's the way we've got to play, and I agree with that. The Cavs opened the second quarter on a 14-4 Donovan Mitchell infused run to take just their second lead of the game at the 10-13 mark of the quarter. The two teams traded baskets for about a brief stretch before the Cavs gained control for good. Before the Cavs and for good on Evan Mobley's dunk, They were ahead for the final 33 minutes using a dominant second quarter, outscoring the Nets 38-25 before holding off a feisty fourth quarter push from the Nets, who cut the lead to 5 with 15.3 left. We needed to play a complete game, Bickerstaff said after the win. We allowed the lead to dictate our emotions. We allowed a big play to dictate our emotions, and instead of doing the job and finishing the game the way we needed to finish the game. The fourth quarter helped make the final score better for Brooklyn. Most of the game was Cleveland's destruction. Was a Cleveland destruction. Excuse me. Mitchell, who fought off a bit of a stomach bug that sent him back to the locker room in the first quarter, poured in a game-high 31 points, 10-22 shooting, and 5 of 9 from three-point range. And the star guard punctuated his night with thunderous poster dunk over Brooklyn's swingman, Yuda Waterenby, that sends grasps through the Barclays Center, excuse me. Mitchell looked on with appreciation before playfully punching Mitchell in the chest. Oof. And it was the highlight of the game, a portrait of Cleveland's ambition and annihilation, excuse me. That was one of his better ones. Jared Allen said of Mitchell's throwdown. Funny, we were taking about dunking Donovan Mitchell before the game, and he had an excellent one. And I give it a 9.7 out of 10, and I give that too. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And out of 10, I'm not a guy that can say it's perfect. And as I mentioned, Garland chipped in with 17 points to go with 6 assists. Mobley added 17 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 dimes. Allen played for the first time since March 10th when he suffered a right eye contusion that sidelined him for the previous 4 games. Recorded his 30th double-double of the season, tallying 12 points, 14 boards, and in 35 impactful minutes. It's better, not 100%, Allen said. He's still recovering eye. Doctors said it was good to go and good to play, and it won't get worse. So I trust the team and was ready to go again. And Brooklyn now just 7 of 13 since trading away superstars Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, was led by Spencer Dinwiddie, who had 19 points, 10 assists. Mikal Bridges chipped in with 18, and in all, Brooklyn had 6 players reach double figures. But the Brooklyn Nets no longer have the star power to keep pace with the East true contenders. At the time Brooklyn's upheaval, the Nets had the East fourth best record. That now belongs to the Cavs, while the Nets have slipped to the sixth spot, 2.5 games behind the New York Knicks. Prior to the game, Brooklyn center Nick Claxton, responded to a Cleveland.com report about the Cavs preferring to face the Nets, saying Brooklyn will match up with anybody and will take care of them if that comes to fruition. Unless the Nets make an unexpected late-season push, the pregame chatter will be irrelevant, and Tuesday's contest will end up being just another late March matchup instead of a playoff preview. Too bad for the Cavs, who haven't won a playoff series without LeBron since 1993. Uh, Playing the starless Nets in round one would be the easiest path to changing that. Uh, the Cavs they're off today. They're still in Brooklyn, and they will play a second matchup the Nets tomorrow night. Tip-off is at 7:30 p.m. on Bally Sports Ohio for that game. And so, I think that is on Bally Sports Ohio. Let me just check that. Yes, tip-off is at 7:30 p.m. on Bally Sports Ohio. So I thought we'll see if it's Tuesday, if, uh, if a late March, if this is a playoff preview with the Nets, we shall see. So, and the Cavs are now, let me look at the I got to really get ready. So, and I agree with that. So, we shall see. Uh, and and now we're going to move on to some Browns news. First off, the Browns on Saturday completed their first free agent addition on the offensive side of the ball with the addition of tight end Jordan Atkins, who was the former Houston Texans tight end. Here are five things that we need to know about the Browns' newest tight end. A career best. Here, the first one is a career best in 20 best season in 2022. Aikens, who was drafted by the Texans in the third round in 2018, had the best season of his career in 2022, setting career highs with 495 receiving yards and a team leading 5 touchdowns. He was targeted 54 times and caught 37 passes, which led all Texans in tight ends. Pro Football Focus also gave Aikens a 72.4 overall grade for the season, which was the highest of his career. His 61.3 pass block grade was his highest since 2019, when it was 61.7. Now, the second number two thing you want to know about him, his connection with Watson. Browns QB Deshaun Watson was the first quarterback of Aikens' career for his first two seasons in 2018 and 2019. He was mostly the second tight end in the offensive behind Ryan Griffin in that first season and caught 17 passes for 25 yards with no touchdowns, but saw more productivity in year two, with Watson catching 36 passes for 418 yards with 2 touchdowns. Now, here's something you didn't know about him. He started in baseball. Aikens began his college career at UCF as a football player, but then changed his pro sport aspirations when he was drafted in the third round by the Rangers in the 2010 Major League Baseball draft. Aikens spent 4 seasons in the minor leagues as an outfielder and batted .218 in the Rangers form system. He played in 321. Uh, uh, he played in 320. He played in 321 games, hitting 24 home runs with 124 RBIs and 42 stolen bases. He returned to football to UCF to pursue football again in 2014, and played in 10 games that year, catching 12 passes for 135 yards. Now, Here's the fourth thing you need to know about him that you might want to know. He was the highest tight end draft pick at UCF. After suffering an injury early in his sophomore season, Akins took a medical redshirt and found more production of his last 2 years with the Knights, catching 55 passes for 862 yards and 6 touchdowns. In his redshirt sophomore and junior seasons, that led him to becoming a third-round draft pick, which is the highest any tight end from UCF had been drafted. Now, the other thing you want to know about is where he fits. Akins becomes the fourth tight end on the Browns depth chart, joining David Njoku, Harrison Bryant, and Mitchell and Zaire Mitchell, excuse me, Patton. He's the second most experienced player in the tight end room, and at 6'4", 249 pounds, is a few pounds bigger than Njoku, who is a 6'4", 249 pounds as well. And there's another round story. I'm going to get to that one in just a moment. Right now, I want to reveal the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. Who is the coach that is considered the best NBA coach of all time? If you said Bulls and Lakers coach Phil Jackson, you are correct. Jackson won the NBA championship with the Bulls 6 NBA championships with the Bulls, and 5 NBA championships with the Lakers. And I will have another trivia question on my next podcast, so stay tuned for that. Now, the other Browns story I have one more. The Browns haven't slammed the door shut on trying to trade for Broncos receiver, Jerry Jeudy, despite the lack of a first-round pick this season or next season, a source told Cleveland.com. The Broncos don't plan to trade Jerry Jeudy, their 2020 number 15 overall pick out of Alabama, unless someone makes them an offer they can't refuse. Another source said that offer would ideally include a first-round pick. But Benjamin Albright of Denver's KOA FM reports that the Broncos would listen to an offer for a second-round pick and a player, which the Broncos could possibly pull off. The Broncos supposedly at least pondered an offer for a second and fourth rounder, possibly from the Patriots. Now, the Cowboys inquired about Jeudy before Jeudy, who was 23, before they traded for Texans receiver Brandon Cooks, Watson's former teammate. Because of the trade last year for Deshaun Watson, the Browns are in the second of 3 straight years without a first-round pick. Their top pick this year is at number 42 overall, and they can't count on a speedy elite receiver being available there. But number 42 and a good player, or number 42 and a pick next year might be enough to get it done. One source told Cleveland.com the chatter surrounding the Browns and Jeudy seemed to be smoke, but another said the door remains open for the Browns to try to acquire him. Jeudy, who led the Browns with 67 catches for 972 yards and 6 TDs, is the first and twitchy wideout, Watson needs, and Watson is believed to be intrigued. Now, besides the Price is Right with Judy, 6'1", 193 pounds. His base salary in the fourth year of his rookie contract this season is only 26. I mean, only 2.681 million, and his fifth year option for 2024 is 12.987 million. If it's exercised by May 1st, an extension could be a part of the deal. For comparison's sake, Amari Cooper's cap charge with the Browns this year is 23.776 million. And there is much to like about Judy. That new head coach Sean Payton might not want to part with him. The Broncos have also received calls about second leading receiver Cortland Sutton, but he is similar to the Browns' top two receivers, Amari Cooper and Donovan Peoples-Jones. If the Browns acquire Judy, and if they don't have to part with Cooper in the process, the two former Alabama stars would make a formidable duo, and the Browns would undoubtedly have one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL. The Browns hosted former Seahawks receiver Marquise Goodwin, number 32, who's 32 on Tuesday, but haven't yet determined if they're going to sign him. Perhaps they'll wait until they find out if they can land Judy. So I'll keep you updated on this story, but I really would like to see them land Jerry Judy. So we shall see. Uh, so yes, we shall see if they can land Jerry Judy. Uh, and there isn't. The Browns did sign somebody today. And I know they did sign somebody today. The new Browns receiver Elijah Moore dug himself into a hole with the Jets last season. That's who they signed today. Uh, and his trade on Wednesday to the Lambs is just what he needs to climb out and fulfill his potential. And in Cleveland, Moore will be surrounded with good influences in the receiver room: Amari Cooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones, David Bell, and others. And he'll be also be taken under the wing of Deshaun Watson, who will make him feel welcome and valued from the jump. Watson, who is happy about the trade, will include more in any offsite workouts he organizes to foster team building and camera Duree and more will undoubtedly fit in right away. And he also has one of the best receiver coaches in the NFL, Chad O'Shea, and he'll flourish under his guidance. It's always a red flag when a player has a verbal spat with a coach and asks to be traded and gets benched for a game. All of these things happen with Moore last year in New York and likely contributed to him being traded to the Browns for what amounts to a move down 32 spots from number 42 in the second round, number 74 in the third. And so, but every other receiver in this history, in the history of the NFL, Moore wants the ball. So and so we'll see what happens, and And I do believe that he wants more. He really does. He wants to really climb out of this. And I think this was a good move. And he only caught 35 of 65 targets last season, 146 yards and a touchdown. So this is a good move for the Browns. I think it's what he needs. And I really think this is going to be this was a good move for the Browns. So I'll keep you updated on both these stories. And the Cleveland Guardians lost 42 to the Los Angeles Dodgers in Cactus League play at Goodyear Ballpark in Goodyear, Arizona. The Dodgers held the Guardians to just 2 runs on 7 hits, and the Guardians had 1 error in this game. The Guardians hit only 2 runs came in the second inning. After that, their bats went silent. And the Guardians are out today, but they'll be back in Cactus League play tomorrow as they will take on the San Francisco Giants at Scottsdale, Arizona, at Scottsdale Stadium in Scottsdale, Arizona. First pitch, 9:05. And you can hear the game on the radio home of the Guardians, News Radio, WTAM 1100. And the March Madness tournament continues tomorrow, the Sweet 16. And March Madness tournament continues tomorrow. As I said, Michigan State will take on Kansas State, and that will happen at 6:30. And that will, I think, be on March Madness Live. And that will be at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Arkansas will take on UConn, and Gonzaga will take on UCLA. And Florida Atlantic will take on Tennessee. And those are for tomorrow. So we'll see what happens in those games tomorrow. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for this edition of Scott Sports 101. I'll be back later, hopefully either tomorrow or Friday or this weekend, with another podcast. So until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1. I'm done.